Hello again. Now, to review a little what we covered just in the first video, I'm going to remember to you what are the uses of the real conditionals. I mean zero conditional and first conditional. For example, let's remember, I use zero conditional to talk about routines. For example, when I cook, I use olive oil. And also remember, only zero conditional can use when instead of if. I use zero conditional also to state rules. For example, if you take your cell phone into the class, it must be turned off. That's a rule. I also use zero conditional to talk about scientific facts and general truth. For example, when you combine oil and water, they don't mix. And last but not least, cause and effect. The computer turns off when you disconnect the battery. Remember, zero conditional have two clauses, both in simple present. If simple present, the result simple present. And you can replace if by the word when, only in zero conditional. But when we are talking about the first conditional, I am talking about predictions, like if you don't hurry, you'll be late for work. That's a prediction. It's probably that it becomes true, but there is a small possibility it doesn't. We also use first conditional to talk about superstitions. For example, if you walk under a ladder, debajo de una escalera, you will have bad luck. It's also a possibility. To talk about future plans, if you go shopping tomorrow, I will go with you. And finally, for warnings and threats, advertencias. Slow down. If the police catch you, you'll get a fine. La policía te atrapa, te multarán. Now, our main topic for today is the second conditional. Second conditional is not a real conditional. We use second conditionals to talk about our dreams, things that we can imagine, the possibilities I could do if I had some chances for something. For example, what happens if I win the lottery? If I win the lottery. Imagine. I can imagine what my life would be like if I won the lottery. Wow. I could do so many things, and my life would be so different. I would love the chance to change my life with the money. The first thing I would do is buy a big new house. I live in a small apartment, and I have always dreamed of living in a big house in the country. With all that money, I could buy anything I wanted. I don't have a car right now, so I would buy a new car. Or I might even buy a new motorcycle. I like motorcycles, and I can imagine myself driving down the highway with the wind in my hair. Of course, if I win the lottery, I should give some money to the charity. I would probably give the money to a charity that helps sick children. Also, if any of my friends needed anything, I could help them pay for it. Also, I think that if I won a huge amount of money, I would open a business. I love to cook, and I have always wanted to open a restaurant. With all that money, I could open a nice restaurant. I think, however, that the only problem with dreaming about the money I could win is that I have never even played the lottery before. As they say, you can't win if you don't play. In this reading, we could notice examples about our dreams, the future possibilities or present possibilities, but they are not true. It's just our imagination. That's the second conditional. And what's the form of the second conditional? Second conditional have if clauses, but the if clauses are always in simple past. if I had a car. What means that I don't have a car. That's not real. It's my imaginary situation. If I had a car. And the result is with the modal verb would plus the verb or action I want or the result I want in the future. For example, I would drive to work or I wouldn't drive to work if the possibility is negative. So this is imagination if I had a car. The real situation is that I don't have a car and I don't have any plans to buy one. I love my motorcycle. So notice that although we use a past verb form in the second conditional, we are not talking about the past situation. We are talking about the present or future situation. In the second conditional, we use sentences with if plus past simple to talk about imaginary situations in the present or future. We usually use would plus a verb in the main clause in the result to talk about an imaginary result. Remember, imaginary is not real. With the second conditional, I can use also if only or I wish. I can I can use these expressions to talk about my wishes, my dreams. For example, we use if only and I wish plus past simple to say how you would like reality to be different. But we are not talking about a past situation. For example, I wish, desearía, I wish I had more time to study English. I wish I had more time to study English. The reality is that I don't have enough time. Another example, if only, si solo, if only I didn't have to work so hard. Reality, I have to work really hard, especially these days from home. You don't know, but we have to work a lot creating the slides, making the video, uploading everything, checking everything is working. Is really a lot of work. Now, in second conditional, we also use were. Were is more common and formal than was. So, for example, imagine you want to say this expression in English. Si yo fuera tú, si yo fuera tú. In English, I don't say if I was you. We say if I were you, or if I, like in the example, if I were super rich. When we are talking second, we're using, the second conditional, we don't use was, we use were for all the subjects. If I were, if you were, if he were, if she were super rich. The uses. Remember, we have two uses for second conditional. Number one, we can use it, the second conditional, to talk about things in the future that are probably not going to be true. For example, dreams. If she were rich, she would travel all over the world. It's a dream, it's an imaginary situation, a future possibility that it's probably not going to be true. If she were rich, she has no chances to be rich, for example. And the second one is that we can use it to talk about something in the present which is impossible. Remember, impossible because it's not true. For example, if I had her number, I would call her. If I had her number, I would call her. I cannot call that girl or that woman because I don't have her number. It's not real. I don't have it. So I'm talking about an impossible situation. If I had her number. Si yo tuviera su número, pero en realidad no lo tengo. Remember, the if clause. If clause, simple past. Main clause, would plus the verb. Let's practice a little. Here says, write sentences for the situations using would and the if plus past simple. For example, I don't have much money, so I can't buy that game. I don't have much money, so I can't buy that game. That's a real situation. What's the second conditional? If I had much money, if I had much money, remember the situation in simple past. If I had much money, I could buy that game. So I use the modal form of can. I can use also could instead of would. Or I could say if I had much money, I would buy that game. I would buy that game, but I can also use could. Another situation. I don't understand anything about virtual worlds, so I don't take part of them. No entiendo nada sobre mundos o realidades virtuales. Por lo tanto, no tomo parte en ellas. What's the second conditional? Si yo entendiera, so, if I understood everything about virtual worlds, remember, you have to change that into past. If I understood everything about virtual worlds and the possibility with would, I would take part on them. I would take part on them. Last one. I'm very busy, so I can't always do what I want to do. Siempre estoy ocupado, así que no siempre puedo hacer lo que quiero. So, let's change that into second conditional. I'm very busy. If I weren't, because the real situation is that I am, is positive sentence. So, I have to change that into a negative sentence. Because if I weren't so busy, si no estuviera, if I weren't so busy, I could do what I want to do. I could do what I want to do. Okay? So that's the second conditional. The idea with the second conditional is that you are showing a dream, an ideal situation, an imaginary situation, but remember, it is not true or is not possible. To end this section, I want to show you a little piece of vocabulary. The idea with this piece of vocabulary is that you take notes. You can pause the video here. Take notes about the words or the roles on the right, and in front you have the definition, but they are not in order. Please take notes and order them. Order them. Use the dictionary if you need it, because there are gonna be some questions about it. Okay, that's the end of our today's lesson, and thank you. See you, and remember, you can contact me by WhatsApp. Bye.